Welcome back to Auto Review, your go-to channel for everything on wheels. Today, we're diving deep into a true classic from the world of utility vehicles, the 1975 Bedford truck SJ1. It may not turn heads like a vintage sports car, but for those who appreciate rugged reliability and British engineering from the past, the SJ1 is a gem worth talking about. Let's kick things off with the exterior. At first glance, the 1975 Bedford SJ1 embodies the utilitarian look of mid-70s workhorses. It's boxy, robust, and no-nonsense. The design isn't flashy, it was never meant to be, but it has a certain retro charm. The front grille is plain but effective, with simple round headlamps that give it a face of function over fashion. The flat windshield and squared-off cab give the truck a blocky silhouette that maximizes space. It rides on a steel ladder chassis with sturdy leaf spring suspension, and sits tall with high ground clearance, allowing it to take on both urban and rural terrain. Steel wheels, usually painted white or gray, complement the industrial feel of the truck. Most SJ1s came in utilitarian colors like army green, beige, or industrial blue, all very period correct. Over the years, many of these trucks have gained a patina that adds character rather than takes away from their visual appeal. Moving inside the cab, you're reminded quickly that this is a truck built for work, not comfort. The interior of the Bedford SJ1 is extremely basic by modern standards. There's no soft touch material, no touchscreen, no infotainment, just the bare essentials. The seats are simple vinyl-covered benches or buckets, designed to be durable rather than plush. Instrumentation is minimal: a speedometer, fuel gauge, and a few warning lights. However, everything you do find is functional, clearly labeled, and easy to use, even with gloves on. The dashboard is made of simple pressed metal, often painted to match the exterior. Visibility is surprisingly good thanks to the upright windshield and large side mirrors. The steering wheel is large and thin-rimmed, giving it that old-school feel. There's no power steering here. Driving one of these trucks takes effort and muscle, especially at low speeds. The cabin does offer decent space for 2 or 3 occupants, but don't expect luxury. This was a tool for the job, not a lounge on wheels. When it comes to performance, the Bedford SJ1 was built to endure rather than to excite. It was typically powered by a 2.0L or 2.3L 4-cylinder petrol engine, although some versions came with diesel options. The power output hovered around 60 to 75 horsepower, depending on the engine variant. That might sound underwhelming today, but for a mid-sized truck from the 70s, it was enough to get the job done. The SJ1 was mated to a 4-speed manual transmission, with a gearbox that felt solid and mechanical. It required a firm hand, but it was reliable. Acceleration is, quite frankly, slow by today's standards. It was never meant to be fast. The SJ1 was designed to haul loads, not to race. Payload capacity was one of its strong points, typically around 1.5 tons, making it a favorite for farmers, tradesmen, and municipal fleets. The ride quality is stiff, as expected from a leaf-sprung truck, but it handles predictably on the road. Off-road, it holds its own thanks to its simple drivetrain, high ground clearance, and rugged construction. Fuel economy isn't impressive, hovering around 15 to 18 mpg, but that wasn't a deal-breaker in the era it was built. Now let's talk about prices and collectability. Back in the day, the Bedford SJ1 was considered affordable and practical. It offered great value for businesses needing a dependable light truck. Today, however, these vehicles have become quite rare. Most were worked into the ground, scrapped, or rusted away. Finding a well-preserved or restored example can be a challenge. Prices vary greatly depending on condition. A rusty, non-running project might go for as little as $1,500 to $3,000. A solid, running example could fetch between $5,000 to $8,000, while a fully restored showpiece might be valued at $10,000 or more, particularly if it's in original condition with period-correct details. Collectors are starting to recognize the SJ1 for what it is, a snapshot of 1970s working-class motoring history. It's not a glamorous classic, but it has a cult following among enthusiasts of vintage British commercial vehicles. So who is the 1975 Bedford SJ1 for today? It's for someone who appreciates simplicity, durability, and nostalgia. It's for the collector who wants something different in their garage, Not a sports car, but a hard-working piece of history. And it's for those who love the character and story behind every dent and scratch on a 50-year-old truck. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1975 Bedford truck SJ1. A vehicle that wasn't built to impress but has earned admiration through sheer resilience. If you enjoyed this review and want more classic vehicle spotlights, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Thanks for watching Auto Review, where the past meets the pavement.